everyone, I'm Mick Ott and welcome to Living Free Range. Currently in COVID-19 lockdown, would love to go out hunting, would love to go out fishing, but we can't at the moment. So what am I going to do with my time? Well, fortunately I've got a freezer full of mince, and today we're going to turn them all into sausages, and I'll show you how easy that is to do. So obviously the most important thing for our venison sausages is venison. So I've got 7 kilos of minced venison here, that's ready to go, been put through a coarse grinder. On top of that we're going to need to add some pork fat. We add the pork fat because venison is so lean, it needs a bit of fat to help the sausages cook and help all the binding go. So this has been cut into chunks, we're going to go through the mincing of this shortly. On top of that, we need a binder to go in with our sausages. Now I use a pre-packed binder. This is supplied by a company called My Slice of Life, based in Wangaratta. Really good setup. They don't sponsor me or anything like that. I just like the way they do their business, and they've got a great range of products to choose from. Lots of different flavours. We're doing barbecue today, and we'll probably add a bit extra to it, something a bit spicy to it as well. See how we go. So the next component for our sausages are our casings, and there's a few decisions we need to make regarding those. First of those is the size of the sausage. What do you prefer? And it pretty much comes down to personal choice, but when you're ordering your sausages you need to be specific about what size you want. If you want about a thin sausage, like a breakfast sausage, might be a 25mm sausage. If you want to go more for a barbecue type sausage, it might be a 30 or 35mm sausage. So that comes down to personal choice, so that's an easy decision to make. Outside of that, we've got to decide what type of casing we're going to use. We have a couple of choices, and primarily that is collagen, which is a processed case. It's still made from animal products, but this is a collagen case here. They come prepared, they're on a tube. You can just slide them straight on the sausage packer, tie a knot in the end here, and they just peel off, just away they go, start stuffing your sausages. They're really strong and easy to work with. So if you're starting out sausage making, these are a really good option. However, I do think a natural casing is a better product. They certainly taste better, and they sort of just go more towards my mantra of trying to keep things as natural as possible. So today we're going to be using these lamb casings here. So I've got a bag of lamb casings here from My Slice of Life. These can be mail ordered, there's no problem at all. They don't need to be refrigerated for any extensive period of time. So if you order them in the mail, they come packed in salt, so it keeps them all safe. Whack them in the fridge for storage until you're ready to use them, but that'll be fine. Problem with natural casings though is a little bit more fiddly, so there's a bit of cleaning involved. You've got to get rid of that salt, flush them out with water, and make sure they're not tangled, because that can be a bit fiddly. I'll probably make another video just showing that whole process in the future, but today we're just going to be using these natural casings, and we'll see how they work. So the next step is to mince up the pork fat to the same size as our venison mince. So I'm going to throw that through the mincer now. Now what I've done to prepare this is I've thrown this mincer in the deep freezer. The mincer body and all the components and stuff have been put in the deep freezer, and the pork fat is also part frozen as well. It's sort of just defrosting. So what that'll do is it'll stop the pork fat from rendering down and going too liquidy when it goes through the mincer. It'll cut cleaner and push through the mincer a lot better as well. So let's get into that. Alright, so that's the pork fat all been minced up on its first grind. Just going to clean up this mincer and we'll move on to the next step. So we're going to mix this meat together with the pork fat by hand. Bit of a tip I've got for you is get hold of some cloth or knitted gloves and throw a food handling glove over the top of it, That'll keep the fingers from getting too cold, because after a few minutes of stirring that up at a couple, -1 degree, it's going to get pretty cold on the fingers. So now we just got to spend a couple of minutes mixing this pork fat in with the venison. Oh, a bit like kneading bread, really. You can see that's all been blended in pretty well. The pork fat's all been mixed through the mince really well. The next thing we want to do is put it through the mincer again. I'm going to put it through in about a 4mm plate, and that'll help blend it right in again and make it easy to work with. So I'll do that next. So there we go. It's been through the second mince now. She's looking a lot more like a good sausage mix. There's still a little way to go. So we'll just clean this mincer up, move on from there. Right, so there's our mince after the second grind. You can see it's really well blended in there with that pork, and she's nice and sticky. So now we add the sausage premix to our mince. That'll help turn it into a nice, tasty sausage blend. Sprinkle a bit on. Once again, mix it through. Right, so that's got the seasoning mixed through it now nicely. What I'm going to do is, I guess, do a bit of slight adjustment. So, got some chili flakes. Put some of those through. We'll add a bit of paprika too. Just spice these guys up a little. I don't mind it. See how that goes. So now we've got this meat and the meal, flavour and everything all mixed in, all the dry ingredients are added. It's quite a heavy, doughy type of consistency, a bit like kneading bread. So next step is to add some cold water. Good chilled water is the way to do it. Try and keep everything cool. And that'll bring about I guess it'll turn into more of a porridge type of consistency, which is what we're looking for with our sausage packing. Alright, that's getting to the right consistency now for us to start preparing to actually start stuffing our sausages. As I said, it's like a porridge type of consistency. Look, it wants to flop around. That's how we want it. Getting to the fun part of the process where we start putting these sausages together. Now I'm using a Reba Italian-made 5 kilo sausage packer. You don't have to start out with this equipment. Most minces come with a sausage packing attachment, so maybe start with that, and then look into investing into something like this if you're really happy with how or what you turn out. You want to turn out more and all that. Certainly makes things easy. So let's see how it works. So now we need to load up the hopper. We need to make sure. Most important thing is to make sure there's no air bubbles in the mix, so it'll blow out. What you do is you make up a handful, just about a tennis size piece of sausage mix, and then slam it down as best you can into the hopper, and keep on loading it up like that. And what that'll do is it'll eliminate any air bubbles in the mix. That'll about do it. Looking good. All right, let's get into stuffing some sausages. So we're almost ready to go. Now we just got to load these natural casings on. As I said, they're a little bit more fiddly than the collagen ones, but I think they make the sausages taste a whole lot better. And keeps things as natural as possible. So there we have one lamb case ready to go. So we're going to just start the mince coming through. There we go, look at that. That's the start of the sausage. That started, tie a knot in the case here. A bit of a beauty of these natural cases is they permeate air and moisture, so if you do happen to get an air bubble in it, they will ease out. So there we have it. Very nice string of sausages. Well, string of one big sausage. We've got some tying to do after this. Just tie that off. That's all the sausages made, pumped into their skins. Now we're going to tie them into links so they can hang in the cool room. Let them hang for a day or so. They'll be ready to go and pack up, freeze up, go from there. Ready to tie these into links. So, you know, we've got to work out the length of our sausage that we want. That's about average, I guess, about there. Just pinch it off, just slowly work it in. Now, I'm no butcher, so I'm going to work a lot slower than any butcher would. Twist that, bend it around on itself, and we have our I guess a measure for our next one. Pinch that off slowly, and we go again and roll that round. Fold that around. Pinch it off, twist. What we want to do is twist in opposite directions every time as well. So then as we end up what's happened there, once come untied, we go tie him up and we wrap him around like that. We want to go three to a link, so there's our first link. Fold this one up, there's our measure. Pinch that sausage. Here's our next sausage. Bit of a pinch there. Twist the other way. And then we can twist those two together. All right, that's all done. Look at that. Nice string of snags there. All that's left, just got to throw them in the cool room. Well, there we go. 10 kilos of venison sausages in the cool room. Going to let them sit overnight, then we'll bag them up and freeze them or eat them tomorrow. You don't need a cool room to let them sit. You can do that in a refrigerator, so don't stress too much about that. Hopefully you learnt something today. If you've got any questions, leave a comment. But hey, I'm no expert and I can do it, so give it a crack. It'll be worth a try. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.